Hey everybody, welcome. We are on Periscope, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitch. We're probably on Smashcast and a couple of others too. I don't know why the sound did not come through. Let's try one more time. Be right back. Okay, welcome to the show. It seems like everything is just fine. Welcome, guys. This is Late Night with Coach Dave. I don't know that we're going to be going extremely late. It all depends on how my friends over at Restream are managing to put this signal out. Depends on how many people want to come in our live line that's down below. So we have some of that going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. According to Restream, all 8 of our lines are hooked up. Plus, there's probably about 3 more through a redo thing. Hi, Mary. Mary Albert is on, and Mary, we're going to turn on. We've got a little thing called vMix Social, but we have to go turn it on after things get going. And so there we have it. You have spinach between your teeth. That's the title tonight. You have spinach between your teeth. And what the spinach between your teeth is all about, we're going to get to that in just a minute. Before we do that, I want to show you 10 seconds about Coach Dave. It doesn't really mean anything, but here we go. And there we go. There's Mary saying hi. Hi, Mary. What's going on? It's good to see you. Facebook, we are online. We're online, and I believe it's about 7 networks plus the ones that we have being ricocheted through Facebook, through Restream, and through some shares that are going on out there. So if you see us out there and you'd like to share, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, spinach tonight. Yes, Mary, that's absolutely true. We're going to talk about spinach. And the only reason we're going to talk about it is I'm going to tell you about how a friend of mine, I consider him a friend. I don't know if he considers me a friend. He might not consider me a friend after this, but I'm not going to name names. So I think that's going to be all right. Hey, what's going on? I see my friend Devante is out there. Welcome on in, Devante. Appreciate it. So this friend of mine, who I'm not going to name names, is a broadcaster online, and he has quite a habit that he's very successful. Don't get me wrong, very successful. And he has a habit of what you might say, it's a little bit of, when I went to speech class in high school, they said, first thing right off the bat, they said, don't look blankly out at people, and when you feel like you need to take a pause in your speech, don't use the word or Don't use it. Just flat out, don't use it. Okay? So we are going to talk about spinach tonight because I believe, this is just how I believe. You got a lot of good friends out there. You got a lot of people out there that really say, we care about you, we care about your success, we care about how well you do and all this stuff. If you have that kind of friends out there, ask them to tell you the hard things. Ask them to tell you the hard things. This is one of the hard things. If you have spinach in your teeth, you don't want to have to wonder about it. I'm not sure what that means. But you don't want to have to worry about, am I going to be talking to somebody? Am I going to have to change? And they're not going to tell me about it. They're just going to look at me and go, okay, yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. And not look at you because they don't want to tell you you got spinach between your teeth. You know why? Because it might hurt your feelings. Okay, if you're here in this broadcast and exactly, that makes you want to say it, doesn't it? It almost makes you self-conscious. You sit there and you go, no, I'm not going to say it. And I'm not going to say that either. And I have someone that I watch quite often, and they say, you know, instead of or or they say, you know. You know, when I was down walking that way, you know, and I was doing this thing, well, you know, and you know how I was doing that, you know, and it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. So if your friend is a broadcaster and says, it's okay to tell them, dude, you're saying a lot. You're saying a lot. You're saying And the easiest thing to do to check yourself before you wreck yourself is to go and look, just pick at random any one of your broadcasts that you've done. Yeah, I know there's a delay. It's kind of just, we kind of have to deal with it. I'll try to make comments as they come up rather than as they appear in Restream. But the thing you have to do is go at random, pick out one of your broadcasts, take a look at it, watch the first 5 minutes, and get a ticker. Get some kind of a clicker. Do hash marks on a piece of paper if you need to. And just watch the clock, watch the timer, watch the little thing that goes across. You'll see when you've seen 5 minutes. Watch 5 minutes of it. Count how many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then cross. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, cross, and that's 5 more. Count how many times in the first 5 minutes. If you have more than 5 clickers or 5 hash marks in 5 minutes, I hate to break the news to you, you say too much. On the average, I've been finding when I watch the videos that have my friends that say this a lot, on the average, I've been finding they say it 10 times a minute. Or more. I've seen broadcasts that are an hour long. How many times do you think they said it during an hour? Okay, so not 10 times a minute. Not quite 10 times a minute. 6 times a minute. Because in that hour, they said, get ready for it, they said or 400 times. 400 times. They could have quit their broadcast 7 minutes earlier if they cut that out. If you can go and watch someone that says 6 times a minute, every 10 seconds, they say, If you can watch that person's broadcast and get all the way through it, exactly. Mary Albert says, yikes. 400 times. Now there was one that went 450. See, I'm saying it before it gets here. I'll try to wait. So yeah, 450 times or even 400 times in an hour-long broadcast. That's grating. G-R-A-T, not grading with a D. It's grating. It grates on you. So, go watch one of your broadcasts. These are names of people that are respected in the broadcasting community. In fact, one of them interviewed two brothers over on YouTube about how to make your YouTube better, how to make your broadcasting better, how to make it nicer, better, greater. And the three of them together said in a 60-minute period of time, over 400 between the three of them. All three of them did it. It was crazy watching this. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was crazy watching it. I could only stand about 10 minutes of it, and then I had to turn it off. I didn't get the content of how to make my YouTubes better because there were too many in the sentence of everyone who was speaking. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm trying to say public speaking. There are things you do, and there are things that just push your audience away. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, my dear friends, in various community groups on Facebook, in various places where I see you, Facebook, YouTube, BeLive, all kinds of other places where I see you, it is catching like a cold. Exactly. I've seen one person start it, but all three of them were doing it. And I don't know if it was catching. I don't know who had the cold, and I don't know who got the cold. But you know what? I could not digest the content because I was out of it. I was totally out of it. Now again, if I had good friends that were seeing me say those words, they're not even words, they're sounds. They're sounds. If I had a beep sound and I played it every time that I needed to take a pause, beep, it would sound, beep, like I'm, beep, not able, beep, to keep, beep, my thoughts together, beep. And I'm asking, please go look. If you think you're at the top, if you think you're the best broadcaster, you're one of the best broadcasters, your schedule is so full that you can't manage to fit anybody in who wants to be on your show, that's great. That's really great. But let me ask, please, will you go look at one of your broadcasts? Beep. And check it out. See if, beep, you can count how many beeps there are, there are, ahs there are, you knows there are. You can count those in 5 minutes. If it takes more than one hand to count them, I'm just saying. You got finished at turn. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Let me run this. Catch it. Okay, so we're back. Welcome back. Do you see that number down there that says call in now, speak with Dave at? 712-770-5307. That's our call-in line. We can handle about 1,000 customers on that call line. Okay, about 1,000 people can call in, be on this show, and we will take them off mute and let them all just have at it. When you get hooked up, the lady starts talking to you on the recording. Start typing in the code 317820 #. That'll bring you into the conference. You'll be told there is a call and answer, a Q&A session in progress. If you wish to join the Q&A, you can press *6. If you just want to sit back, listen to the show, take your cell phone outside, just walk around, enjoy the show, take a walk, listen to the Coach Dave show, Late Night with Coach Dave, then you're hooked up. There you go. There's also a video call-in. Let me see if anybody's on it right now. No, nobody's on it right now. There's a video call-in, and let me call it up here. I'll show you what it looks like. And the video looks like this. There we go. That space over there is for my special guest. Up here, Late Night with Coach Dave. That's the name of the show. And down here, that's my name. Over there, your name will be Special Guest. So you can get to the special guest by going to bit.ly/join the room, all lowercase. And when you go there, on a desktop, on a laptop, on a tablet, or on a phone, all you have to do is type in your name and press join. Ready to go. Ready to go. Alright? So give that a try. You can be on the call with me, face to face with me. You can see how angry I am. I can see how angry you are. I'm not very angry. I'm just having fun. I got to. Okay? So that's what's going on with the spinach between the teeth. And I'm going to challenge you guys. I know this is not a long show. And I know that this is not a long show because I don't have any callers in the queue right now. As a matter of fact, I can take a look at my queue here. There we go. Can you see that? It says host and host. Host and host is me logged in twice. Shh. That's my secret. I'm going to give you a trade secret right here. You want to do a call-in show? You want to use this free software to do a call-in show? You see this thing up here? This is just a plug that makes it so that my headphones don't have to be plugged in and this thing isn't making any noise. But you don't hear, in fact, let me turn the audio on here. Now the audio is on in the call center. If there was people in there talking right now, you would hear it. But you know what? There's nobody in there. There's just me and me. But you know the reason why I do this, why I log this thing in, is because if I logged out just this thing and I had me in there, just one, you'd hear this crazy hold music. And it just keeps going and keeps going. And after a while, people want to start saying, You know what I mean? So that's how you keep it quiet. Take another device, dial it into your call center, and then when you join on the PC, the call center is reasoning, there's two people in there, so I might want to cut the hold music off and let those two people talk. But there's only one person in there because it's me and me. And no, I am not bipolar. Okay. So, how many times have I said the dreaded words? You guys been counting? I don't have anybody counting? Wow. That's amazing. I gotta straighten my hat. You know, you can tell if your hat's crooked by looking at the monitor. So you guys haven't been counting how many times that I'm saying the dreaded words. And you know what they are. They are and And if you're watching this on the replay, on the live show, if you're watching this 3 weeks or 5 months down the road, please go look at your own shows. See how I paused there and I didn't say a dreaded word in that space. It's okay to pause for effect. It's called a dramatic effect. Okay, now we've got somebody in there. And it looks like, caller ID says Mary Albert. Hi, Mary. If you want to listen, you can listen, or if you come into the queue, we can process you in and we can talk to you. You hear all that stuff. Now, you heard the ding over the computer, and that's because I have the audio turned on. And let's see. I don't know if it's going to tell me that's a dialer. Doesn't tell me who's in the queue. It does tell me. Let's see. I'm going to see if I hit the next question. One pending question. All right, let's take a question. Let's talk to Mary. Hi, Mary. Can you hear me?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm good, Mary. You're live on the show. Wow, this is really cool.
It is. I wanted to see how this technology works, so I thought, let me just try to call in.
Yeah, there you go. And while you were on hold, you could hear everything going on in the show, everything I was saying.
Yes.
I'm glad. That's cool. So there's room for about 1,000 people in there. What's your question, Mary? Do you have one?
Yes, I do. How long have you been using this software?
The conference software?
Yes.
I've been doing this about, I would say, 3 or 4 shows over the last 2 weeks. And every one of them has had a problem, but I finally figured it out. And you are actually on the air, and I can see by my meters here that you're going out over the air, so it's really cool.
Wow, that is really neat.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm Rush Limbaugh now.
How fun is that?
I'm going to change my description on my lower third. It's going to say famous talk show host.
So how do you come up with your topics?
It depends on what happens to me during the day. Today, I was talking with my buddy Devante. And Devante is in the show. He was saying hi there earlier. And we made friends, actually, over the internet in one of the groups that we were in together. And he and I were talking, and he was saying that he was looking forward to trying, if he could get there, to get on a certain program, but the person just kind of didn't want to let him on, and that's okay. But the conversation went from, yeah, I saw that he looks pretty busy, but on his broadcasts, I hear that thing that you're not supposed to hear from a public speaker, the and the ah. And so we just kind of went with it.
That sounds good. How do you figure out who you want to have on your show, or how do you figure out what shows you want to be on? Is there like a listing of broadcasts somewhere?
Not really a listing. You can be in some different community groups, and a couple of them having to do with some of the broadcasting software that we use. Like this one I'm using is called vMix, but you can go in the groups that help you figure out how to use this software, and then you kind of run onto people who say, hey, I'm using that, and I'm broadcasting over here and over there. And you go, wow, that'd be interesting. I'd like to be on your show sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's easy to kind of you can kind of reach out after you've been in a few different things. And Periscope is another one that's really easy. You can get on there and you can just find scads of people and just think, hey, maybe they'll put me on their show. Maybe I could ask him if I could come on there.
Got it. I'm not very good with Periscope, but I still try.
Yeah, Periscope is where I started. I started just going in there, and I went in the general area where you can get all kinds of people. And I actually started on their webpage instead of on a device. And on their webpage, they have a listing of everything that's going on. So you pick some people that have interesting topics. You go in there, and if somebody says something that seems like, hey, I like what they said, they're pretty smart, then I go ahead and I follow them. And then when their broadcast comes up, I do the same thing. I hop in there. There's usually someone interesting in there. So I kind of build a list that way.
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And as you begin to follow people, then they follow you back, especially if you're broadcasting. They'll say, ooh, what's he say when he goes live? And they can just look at your profile and see, oh, he's got 16 recent broadcasts. I'm going to go in there and look.
How long do broadcasts stay up?
On Periscope, they stay up forever. I know people who have had, well, I won't say forever. I'll say that the ones that remain public, they like to keep only 100 of those active, which amounts to maybe about a third of a year, if you were doing it roughly every day.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not bad. And then on Facebook and on YouTube, they stay on there forever. You can watch the replay. And just a reminder to anyone watching our replay, if you type hashtag replay, we'll know when you watched. Thank you very much. Public address system.
Nice. Well, that's all the questions I had.
Okay, Mary. Well, thanks for coming on. It was really great to talk to you and help me test this thing out. And now I know for sure it works because I see my little meter over there just fluttering. So thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Right. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Q&A queue is cleared.
There we go. And we cleared the Q&A queue. We're ready for another caller, but I'm just going to turn the volume off. And we'll just look on here every once in a while. See if there's somebody coming on. So if you have any questions, obviously our call-in line is open. Lines are open. Operators are standing by. Actually, it's a virtual operator. She's standing by. She'll tell you something via recorded voice. And then when you're in, you can press *6 to come in the conference and be in the queue. And when you pop in the queue, we'll be notified by a little tiny beep. All right. So we've got spinach in our teeth. Right there. And we're talking to our friends. And our friends are looking going, uh-oh. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to tell him. I don't want to make him angry. I don't want to piss him off. Pardon the French. Pardon the French. Yeah, there we go. It is pretty nifty. I love the calls. Thank you for helping me make sure it works. Appreciate that. So we got spinach in our teeth. We're standing there or sitting there talking to our friends. They're looking at us. They're not telling us that we have spinach in our teeth. Now, two of my friends who have spinach in their teeth, in this example, I'm going to tell you guys. Now, I'm not naming names, and it just so happens that both of you, your initials are RB. If your initials are RB, you got spinach in your teeth. Please go listen to 5 minutes of your show and tell me if you can count on one hand or less the amount of times that you say, I'm not saying that I'm degrading you, saying your show is horrible. In fact, I like both of your shows. I love listening to you guys. In fact, you're going to think I'm crazy. I downloaded one of your videos, and I went in my editing program, and I edited out all of the uhs. And I listened to your show, and I said to myself, dang, that guy is smart. He is intelligent. He is worth it to listen to. But I have to tell you, I can't get through one of your shows because there are way too many times beep that you say beep, and I can't beep understand the beep of your show. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to tell you you've got spinach in your teeth. And I respect you enough, I care for you enough, I care for the information and the value that you provide enough to say, man, people need to hear this stuff. And they need to hear it, they need to be able to wade through it and get past those things that speech class taught us aren't good. If they can get past that and they can listen to it like I did. But most people won't go through and edit out those little things that get in the way of your meaning being caught, get in the way of your meaning being understood, because it just gets to me after a while. And maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know that I am, or that I, in the vernacular, ain't the only one. But let me just tell you, and I'm not pointing fingers, that's why I don't mind saying RB for the initials, because there's more than one person out there. In fact, my brother, his name is Roger. He's an RB. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I don't know if he does any public speaking over the internet or anywhere else. But if he had spinach stuck in his teeth, I'd tell him. So guys, friends that I respect, business people that I respect, you got spinach stuck in your teeth. I hope you catch the replay. I'm not even going to send this specifically to you. Somebody else will do it if they spot it, if they see it. I'm sure there's a couple other people that have noticed. I'm not the only one who feels a little ill at ease when there's a pause that's filled with or I'm not saying your show is bad. In fact, I think your shows are great. You really want to know. So this is why I'm on here. This is why I said there's spinach in your teeth. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate that. And if you feel like I'm talking to you, if you say, my initials are B, you too, Mary. If you say my initials are B, and I'm not going to go look at 5 minutes of my show, that's your choice. If it were me and somebody else was out there and they were saying, your initials are DB, I'm not going to tell you who, but your initials are DB, and if you went and looked at 5 minutes of your show and you counted the number of times you said beep, and you counted them up and it's more than one a minute, you're going to find that it's about 6 times a minute. You're going to find it's 30. And sometimes, I'm not saying you specifically, but I did see a guy the other day that was really getting me towed under with this stuff. He was really getting me towed under with it. I was really dragging along going, I'm ready to hit the stop button on this. And he literally said, 3 times in a row. He said, I think what we're going to do. So 3 out of 4 words in a row there were, It's a hard habit. And I'm telling you, a year ago, you'd be looking at the screen and saying, hey, buddy, you do it too. Because I was. You do it too. Go count your own. Count your own 5 minutes. And you would tell me to go do it. So check this out. Now that was a really sneaky way to let me scratch my nose when I couldn't handle it anymore. There you go. That's what bumpers are for. People say bumpers are for business. No. Bumpers are for scratching your nose. Okay? And then we've got other things going on here. We've got audio that we can just hit.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
Okay. So we all heard that one before. You know that I hit that a lot.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
You know that I got to do that at least 3 times or I'm not happy.
Is there truth? Yes or no?
Yes or no. All right. Now we have the live show. We also have call-in assets, which are the little beep that you hear when somebody logs in, calls that phone number, 712-770-5307, dial 31782 #, and the lady will tell you that you're in a Q&A session. Now what you can do is you can just sit and listen to the show, walk around the house. You got a mobile, live, late night with Coach Dave live show in your hand. Right there. You can just walk around and listen to it. Walk around. You can walk down the block, listen to Coach Dave. You dialed it with your phone. You can go anywhere. Phones can go almost anywhere. You don't want to go under a bridge or in a cave. That's just common sense, as my buddy Terry would say. Common sense. So you got spinach in your teeth. I'm going to get off of this. I think I've said it enough. I just want you guys to know that I'm not here trying to make fun of y'all. I'm not here trying to tell somebody I'm better than you are because I say less. Because it wasn't the case. Last year, maybe a couple years, I don't know when it was, but finally my brain said, look at your own video, count it up, and there were too many of them. So I want to tell you guys, I love you, I respect you, I like your show. I would like to get all the information and not be driven out the door by something. It's a pet peeve of mine, and I hate to call it that because that minimizes it. When you go to speech class, when you're first learning to make public speech, the first thing they tell you, maybe not the first thing, one of the major things that you get docked for is It's one of the major things that you get docked for. They're keeping a point system on you. They'll be making the hashtags on a piece of paper. hash marks, not hashtags. Then make the hash marks on a piece of paper. Go count it. Go count 5 minutes. Put on 5 minutes of your video. Put an egg timer there. 5 minutes. Stop when it goes bzzzt. And some of the guests you have on are the same way, and then when the host is that way and the guest is doing the same thing, that's just me. I'm not trying to minimize your show. You guys have some of the most awesome information that I have seen on the internet. Instruction, wisdom, guidance, just all the right information, all in the right place. You've got all the equipment, you've got the, all the technology and stuff, and it's just rolling for you. But when it comes down to it, there are some viewers you're chasing out the door because it takes more than one hand to count 5 minutes. I might say it a few times during a show. But if I'm saying it 6 times a minute, stop me. Tell me I got spinach in my teeth. Tell me I'm saying stuff in my broadcast that's chasing you out the door. Please have the hard conversation with me. People are afraid of hard conversations, and that's why this stuff just goes on and on and on and on. Are you afraid of the hard conversation? Why? You're helping somebody. You're helping them keep viewers. You're helping them keep business. You're helping them keep the things going when they've got one small little thing, but a huge amount of really great things about their show. Why aren't you helping them? You say they're your friend. You say they're your business associate partner. You respect them. Why aren't you telling them? R-E. It could just as well be D-B. And it has been at times. I'm not immune to it. But for a 1-hour show, to have it go on 400 times, 400 times an hour. I wish I had $1 for every time, you guys. I hate to say you guys. I wish I had $1 for every time I said it. I hope it helps your show. I hope it does. I hope it helps you keep a high percentage of people because you're straight and to the point. You don't sound indecisive. You don't sound like you don't have an idea what you're going to say next. A dramatic pause. It's a good thing. If you say, well, I was talking to him and the conversation just didn't go the way I wanted, that's a lot better than, well, I was talking to him and, you keep a lot more viewers. And you may say to yourself, I'm just a little guy with little numbers. What do I know? The fact that I'm a master life coach. What do I know? The fact that people who are experts in public speaking, the people who graded your papers in speech class, marking you off for the times that you were saying it, dismiss it all. And I love that. Dismiss it all, and I'm fine with it. dismiss it all and say, that's not me. And I'm okay. See, because this isn't my difficulty that I have to solve. It isn't anybody's difficulty that they have to solve. It's your choice. Things happen in life, and it's your choice. Totally your choice. Choices are what life is all about. So if you're a public speaker, if you speak to people, if you speak to people in 2s, 4s, 8s, 16s, I wasn't even a number. Or if you speak to them by the hundreds, or if you speak to them by the thousands, go watch 5 minutes of your video. And there are other people, not just with those initials. If you speak to hundreds of people a day, or if it even takes you a week to speak to hundreds, or if it takes you a month or 5 months to speak to 20 people, if you speak to a lot of people, or if you speak to just a few people, you're doing them a favor, you're doing you a favor. Go look at one of your videos, sit down, and listen for that one sound, and every time you say it, mark it on the piece of paper, then look at how long your video's, divide it out how many times per minute, and you will find out that it's a lot. It's more than you expect. I found that out a little while ago, and I made a concerted effort to get rid of and ah, so that it's not in my speech pattern, so that it's not in my message, so that I don't block people from receiving what wisdom I might have, what great things I might have, great ideas, skills, ideas, all kinds of stuff. Over there on DLive, we've got Social Experiment. Social Experiment says, right on, stand up for your rights, not your paycheck. You are awesome, Dave. Thank you. And if you're on any of the other groups that don't automatically show up here, there's basically 4 groups that show up automatic in this chat. Pop right on the screen. It's Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. The rest of them, I'll read them off of the screen over here. And that's a great thing. So go check it out. Anyone, if you broadcast, if you speak to anyone through the internet or public speaking, go take a look at one of your recorded presentations. Find out how many minutes it is. Mark down how many times you say or and then divide it out to find out how many minutes or how many times per minute that you're saying it. I was saying it a lot, and now I say it a lot less. I'm not perfect. I still say it. I caught myself the other day right in the middle. I was just okay, so what I'm going to do is this. And I went, ooh, there it is. There's my old foe. So, all right, there's our number. We have no callers right now in the queue. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because we're about at the 1 hour mark and I've kind of beat this thing to death. But let me just say, if you broadcast to anybody at all over the internet or if you speak anywhere, go take a look at one of your presentations that's recorded and see how many times you say and the amount of times you say if it's more than 5 times in 5 minutes, people are going to start to get affected by it and leave early and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for coming in, and this is Late Night with Coach Dave. As we get more callers on the show, the number down there, as we get more callers on the show will become longer and longer because I'm not just going to answer these questions. I'll answer any question that I could possibly have some input to. And if I have absolutely no idea, I'll look at the camera and say, I have no idea. So there we go. Late Night with Coach Dave, guys. 4 nights a week. It's going to start at 7 p.m. on the West Coast and 10 p.m. on the East Coast for as long as each show goes. And when we finally reach the 2-hour point, we might break it at that point. But we're not anywhere near there, so we're just going to keep it going. Anyway, check it out. Thanks for coming in Monday through Friday, 7 on the West, 10 on the East, p.m. Talk to you later. God bless. Bye-bye.